Yo, bro, don't drop the low. Don't drop the low. Come on, yo. You know how 4K Trey give it up. Yo, bro, don't drop the low. 4K Trey's on a different type of timing, bro.
Hey, dude, come to Hawaii.
Oh, no. Don't say that. Oh.
NBA. Youngboy just sent his 4KT crash dummies on a mission after NBA superstar Dejounte Murray's dad thought he could disrespect him. And you won't believe where this whole thing stems from. This old head is now facing threats that got the whole internet shook, and fam, this ain't no regular Twitter beef. Now, before we get into this wild ride, let me keep it 100 with y'all. Social media been buzzing about YB going off on some old head, but yo, we about to separate the facts from the fiction, the real from the fake. Now, hold up before y'all start thinking this is just some regular social media drama. We talking about NBA Youngboy here, the same dude who got a whole army of crash dummies ready to move on his word. But here's where it gets real spicy. So check it. Earlier this month, YB was on his Twitter going through it for real. Homie was venting about everything, his loneliness, his baby mamas, the whole industry. He was tweeting stuff like, "I'm scared to go to sleep and I'm lonely and I ain't enough, I'm not healthy." But then he started getting real specific about his baby mamas, talking about, "To my baby mama, this prostituting industry, I don't you either." But let me break down exactly what YB was saying on Twitter that got everybody concerned. He posted, "I love the out, y'all. I'll be back next time." Then he followed up with some real emotional stuff. "Money and opportunity showed me some of the weakest people. I'll be the bad guy every day because every time you do some pussy-ish, I'm gonna flash." Then this man really got in his feelings and said, "You have to keep the right people around is very important. Facts. I don't have no manager. And if somebody playing like that, tell me. I ain't ish. I'm not enough. I'm not healthy. That's fine. I'm here standing tall. Don't forget it." But here's where it got real dark, fam. YB tweeted, "I'm scared to go to sleep. I'm lonely. I come from that now. Look, I'm playing with this straight up. Came from that struggle. Now he playing with it." That's some real vulnerable stuff right there, but knowing YB, that vulnerability can turn into violence real quick. Now in the streets, we know when a dude like YB starts venting like this, it means he's in his feelings about something deep. But YB's situation was different because this man got like 12, 13 baby mamas, so when he start talking crazy, ain't nobody know who he talking about specifically. See, YB got a pattern of using Twitter like his personal diary when he's going through it. He don't care about looking weak or emotional. He just let it all out. But the dangerous part is when that emotion turns into action. And with YB's resources and connections, that action can get real serious, real fast. But let me break down the real tea for y'all about the woman at the center of all this drama. Janiah wasn't just any regular baby mama to YB. She was his first love, his day one. The one who was there before the fame, before the money, before everything. We talking about a relationship that goes back to when they was just teenagers in Baton Rouge, dreaming about making it out the hood. These two had that toxic, passionate type of love that you see in the movies. They was breaking up and getting back together every few months, having kids, fighting, making up, and repeating the cycle for years. This was YB's main relationship, even when he was messing with other women. Real talk, their relationship was straight up volatile from the jump. YB got a history of putting hands on his women, and Janiah caught the worst of it. We talking about multiple incidents where this man was getting physical with Shorty. The streets been knowing about this for years, but nobody really spoke on it like that because that's YB's business. But it wasn't just the physical abuse, fam. YB was emotionally manipulative too. He'd disappear for weeks, mess with other women, get them pregnant, then come back to Janiah like nothing happened. And Shorty kept taking him back because she loved him and thought she could change him. The cycle went on for years. YB would promise to do better, they'd get back together, things would be good for a minute, then he'd start acting up again. Janiah was stuck in that cycle because she had his kids, she loved him, and she didn't know any different. But every woman got a breaking point, and Janiah finally reached hers. The last incident that made her leave for good was reportedly when YB put hands on her in front of their kids. That's when Shorty said enough was enough, packed up her stuff and the children, and bounced for good. Now imagine being in Janiah's position. You done spent years with this dude, had his babies, dealt with his cheating, his violence, his emotional abuse, and you finally get the strength to leave. That takes real courage, especially when you dealing with someone who got the type of power and influence that YB got. So after years of this toxic back and forth, Janiah finally said enough was enough. Shorty packed up, took her kids, and bounced. But here's the kicker. She didn't just disappear. Nah, she upgraded, fam. She started dating NBA player Dejounte Murray, and we ain't talking about no bench warmer. This dude got a max contract, making millions, treating her like the queen YB never did. Dejounte Murray is everything YB ain't when it comes to relationships. This man is stable, successful, respectful, and most importantly, he ain't putting hands on her. He's taking her on vacations, buying her cars, treating her kids like they his own. That's the type of man Janiah deserved all along. Now, imagine how that made YB feel. His first love, the mother of his kids, moved on to a dude who's everything he ain't. Stable, successful, and most importantly, not putting hands on her. That's the type of disrespect that'll have a street dude like YB in his feelings for real. But it gets deeper than just jealousy, fam. In YB's mind, Dejounte Murray represents everything he could never be for Janiah. While YB was out here getting arrested, beefing with other rappers, and dealing with legal problems, Dejounte was building a legitimate career and becoming the type of man who could provide stability. So when YB was on Twitter venting about his baby mamas and talking reckless, Dejounte Murray's pops decided to play therapist. This old head really thought he could give YB some life advice. He commented saying, "This proves that money doesn't make you happy for long. You got to attach yourself to some outdoor activities. Enjoy life." I've hardly ever seen this man post positive thoughts. Hopefully he can find a good therapist, because growing up in the hood will have you looking at every situation on a toxic level. Pick your battles, young man. Now, on the surface, that might sound like some reasonable advice from an older man trying to help a young dude who's clearly struggling. But in the context of everything that's going on, this was straight disrespect in YB's eyes. See, this wasn't just some random old head giving advice. This was the father of the man who's now taking care of YB's first love and his kids. In YB's mind, this was the enemy camp trying to psychoanalyze him and make him look weak in public. But yo, this is where the story gets deeper than just some old man giving advice. See, this wasn't just random commentary. This was calculated disrespect from the family of the man who stole his woman. In street terms, that's like adding insult to injury. Think about it from YB's perspective. He already feeling some type of way about Janiah being with Dejounte. Now the man's father is publicly calling him mentally unstable and suggesting he needs therapy. That's the type of disrespect that can't go unanswered in the streets. The real kicker though, YB's response was straight up menacing. Homie said, "But you pops, you'll get slapped out. Let me fight with my hoe, bro. I'm not even talking about that one, fool." Then he followed up with, "Don't bother me, bro. Now you're going to start some." Let that sink in for a minute. YB just threatened to have an old man slapped up for giving him advice. But in street terms, when YB says you'll get slapped out, he ain't talking about doing it himself. He's talking about sending his 4KT Goons to handle business. Then YB really got disrespectful and said, "Oh man, you unexpected old ass." This man really called Dejounte's father an unexpected old ass and threatened violence. That's the type of response that lets you know YB ain't playing games. For y'all who might not understand the 4KT element, let me explain. 4KT stands for 4,000 Trey, and these ain't just fans. These are real street soldiers who move on YB's word. We talking about dudes who been in shootouts, caught bodies, and don't think twice about violence. When YB says somebody gonna get touched, these the type of people who make it happen. 4KT ain't just a record label or a brand. It's a whole organization with real street credibility. These dudes been moving in silence for years, handling YB's problems and making sure his enemies understand the consequences of disrespect. The scary part about 4KT is their loyalty to YB. These ain't just employees or associates. These are people who genuinely love and respect YB and will do anything to protect his reputation and his family. When YB feels disrespected, they feel disrespected. And let's be real about their capabilities. 4KT got resources, connections, and most importantly, they got people who ain't afraid to travel and handle business. If YB says somebody in Hawaii need to be dealt with, they got people who will make that trip. Now, Dejounte's pops must have realized he stepped in some real, because homie immediately started backtracking. He posted a video trying to explain himself, saying he ain't have nothing against YB and that he was just speaking from an OG's perspective. But then this man made the biggest mistake possible. He dropped his location. This fool really said, "I found happiness in Hawaii, so if any one of you got any problem with what I said, come to Hawaii. Come say this to my face." Fam, that's like painting a target on your back and giving out the address. In the streets, that's called dropping the low, and it's the type of mistake that can get you hurt. But it gets worse. In his video response, this man was actually playing YB's music in the background while trying to defend himself. That's some real contradictory energy right there. You can't be bumping a man's music while disrespecting him and then expect everything to be cool. The old head said, "I ain't got nothing against Youngboy. He's a talented rapper, man. His son, I always treated his son when he came around like he was one of my grandchildren. But that don't matter when you already crossed the line with your comments." Let me keep it 100 with y'all about how dangerous NBA Youngboy really is. This ain't just some rapper talking tough on social media. YB got a whole organization behind him, and these dudes don't play. We talking about people who've been moving in silence, handling business, and making problems disappear. YB's reputation in the streets is built on real actions, not just rap lyrics. This man got a history of violence that goes back to his teenage years. He'd been in shootouts, he'd been arrested multiple times for weapons charges, and he got associates who've been caught up in serious criminal cases. The fact that this old man thought he could step to YB and then drop his location shows he don't understand the type of energy he's dealing with. YB got people who will fly to Hawaii just to make a point. That's the level of loyalty and violence we're talking about. And let's not forget, YB ain't just some street dude with limited resources. This man got millions of dollars, private jets, and connections all over the country. If he wants somebody found and dealt with, he got the means to make it happen. Multiple perspectives, the bigger picture. Now, this ain't just about some Twitter beef or hurt feelings. This is about respect, territory, and family. In YB's mind, Dejounte Murray took his woman and his kids, and now the man's father is trying to disrespect him publicly. That's the type of situation that escalates quick in the streets. But here's what's really crazy. Dejounte Murray probably don't even know his pops just put himself and potentially his whole family in danger. When you dating someone's baby mama, especially someone like YB's, you gotta understand that comes with consequences. And when your family starts talking reckless, those consequences can get real serious, real fast. From Dejounte's perspective, he probably thought he was just helping a woman and her kids get out of a bad situation. He probably never expected that his father would get involved and escalate things to this level. But in the streets, good intentions don't matter. What matters is respect. And YB feels like his respect been violated by this whole situation. First, his baby mama left him for another man. Then, that man's father publicly disrespected him. In YB's world, that can't go unanswered. See, what people don't understand about street dudes like YB is that respect is everything. It's more important than money, more important than fame, more important than anything else. When somebody disrespects you publicly, especially in front of your enemies, you gotta respond or you look weak. In YB's mind, Dejounte's father didn't just give him advice, he tried to make him look mentally unstable in front of the whole internet. He suggested that YB needs therapy and can't handle his emotions. That's the type of disrespect that cuts deep for someone who built their reputation on being strong and untouchable. And the timing made it worse. YB was already in his feelings about Janiah being with Dejounte, and then the man's father comes out of nowhere talking about how YB needs help. That's like pouring salt in an open wound. But this situation got consequences that go way beyond just YB and Dejounte's father. Now, Dejounte Murray got to worry about his family's safety because his pops couldn't mind his business. That's the type of stress that can affect a man's career, his relationships, everything. Janiah probably feeling some type of way too because she thought she escaped all this drama when she left YB. Now the drama following her to her new relationship because of something her new man's father said on social media. And what about the kids? They caught in the middle of all this adult drama, and they the ones who gonna suffer if this situation escalates. YB's kids with Janiah don't deserve to have their lives disrupted because of some Twitter beef. This situation also shows how dangerous it can be for regular people to get involved in hip-hop drama. Dejounte's father probably thought he was just giving some fatherly advice to a young man who seemed to be struggling. He probably never imagined that his comments would result in death threats and his location being exposed. But that's the reality of dealing with people who come from the streets. The rules are different, and what might seem like harmless commentary to regular folks can be seen as serious disrespect to someone who operates by street codes. At the end of the day, Dejounte Murray's father's situation isn't just about giving bad advice at the wrong time. It's about understanding power dynamics, street politics, and knowing when to stay in your lane. This old head thought he could speak on a young gangster's business without consequences, but he just learned that some people don't play those games. The real lesson here is that when you get involved with someone who got a complicated past, you gotta understand that their problems can become your problems. Dejounte Murray probably thought he was just helping a woman and her kids, but now his whole family caught up in some street drama. The real scary part is that YB's response wasn't just words. When he said, "You'll get slapped the out," that was a direct threat backed by real muscle. His 4KT soldiers don't need much motivation to move, and now they got a target with a location. That's a dangerous combination. And let's be real about what this means for Dejounte Murray. His pops just brought street drama to his doorstep over some social media comments. Now he got to worry about his family's safety because his father couldn't mind his business. The old man probably thought he was being helpful, but in the streets, good intentions don't matter. What matters is respect, and he violated that when he publicly tried to psychoanalyze YB and suggest he needs therapy. The real question is, how far is YB willing to take this? We talking about a dude who don't back down from nobody, and now he feels disrespected by his baby mama's new man's family. That's the type of situation that can spiral out of control quick. And for Dejounte's pops, he better hope YB decides to let this slide. Because if those 4KT boys decide to take a trip to Hawaii, it ain't gonna be for vacation. The streets don't forget, and they damn sure don't forgive disrespect. This situation also raises questions about how far celebrity beef can go in 2026. We living in a time where social media makes everything public, and when you got people with real street connections and unlimited resources, things can get dangerous real quick. The smart thing for Dejounte's father to do right now is stay quiet, stay off social media, and hope this whole thing blows over. But knowing YB's track record, this probably ain't over until he feels like his respect been restored. What are your thoughts on this whole situation? Do you think Dejounte Murray's dad was wrong for commenting on YB's business? Or was YB's response too extreme? And more importantly, do you think this old head understands the type of danger he just put himself in? Drop your thoughts in the comments and make sure you stay tuned because this situation is far from over. Hit that subscribe button if you want to stay updated on all the street drama, and check out the video on screen for more content about YB's ongoing beef with his baby mamas. This is your boy keeping it 100, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Stay safe out there, fam, because these streets don't play, and neither do the people who run them.